Hey guys, what's up? It's Monkey and welcome back to Condemned to PVM. So, you know what? I said I was going to get the next episode out within the next couple weeks, and I said I wanted to go for a God Wars Dungeon pet, and both of these things are going to happen. So to be completely honest with you, I was not expecting to be able to get another pet this quickly, but hey, it happened, and it was also a God Wars Dungeon pet, which is one of the pets that I was going for. I was doing multiple God Wars Dungeon. I did some Sarah, I did some Kriara, and then I also did some General Grardor / Bandos. So I did get a few drops before the pets ultimately happens, and nothing too exciting. Most of the Bandos drops are only worth like a couple mil each. Got some tassets, and got some boots, gloves, and a chest plate as well. So the loot tab is not going to be massively huge for this boss, just because it didn't actually take that many kills to finally get the drop, the Decaying Tooth. So the Decaying Tooth happened. It was pretty funny. I started up in an instance, and within 3 minutes I got the pet after starting an instance, and that was awesome. So there is the 4th pet in the series done. So hyped to see that one happen, and also was a pretty awesome God Wars Dungeon pet. Probably the easiest God Wars Dungeon pet to get out of all the God Wars Dungeon bosses, but still, I will take it. One of my first really good pets that I've had so far. Okay, so here is the General Ador pet, and obviously I did not do very many kills in this episode in order to get the pet. However, I had done around 1,500 kills before starting recording footage for this particular episode at Bandos, so we did end up doing quite a bit of Bandos. I also did some hard mode, some solo, and some duo in order to get the Bandos Soulstone, which I eventually got, and eventually ended up not needing for very much because I only had the Soulstone for maybe the last 1 or 2 Bandos instances before the pet happened. And I'll probably never use it again, but oh well. So the entire Bandos KC that I got is almost 1,700 if you include regular and hard mode kill count combined, and also those hard mode kills essentially count for 5 kills each because the pet drop is 5 times more common in hard mode. So here is the entire Bandos price check. I have all of the items that I got while doing the kills for this episode, as well as the 76.5 mil cash, which is how much I got from the initial 1,500 Bandos kills that I did, and then I sold all of those drops in my selling 8,000 boss kills tab video. So in total, I profited quite a bit from Bandos. Obviously, Bandos items have dropped slightly since I started doing this initially for the series, and obviously their drops are not worth a whole lot because tassets sell for like 1.2 mil, and also got some rune ore from the spring cleaner that I forgot in the initial price check, but there it is. So all told from Bandos, from the entire 1,700 kills, this is how much profit was made, 84.5 mil, which is a really nice haul, and it will be a little bit less than that if you do that amount of kills today, as Bandos items have dropped in price. But still, it's fairly decent money. And also, just in case you guys are curious, so you don't have to go back and rewatch that 8,000 boss kills video, this is what the tab looked like after the first 1,493 kills, at which point I decided to take a break from Condemned to PVM, but this is what the tab looked like with a load of Bandos items in there, and I guess they're not worth too much more than they are today, so prices really haven't changed that much, but that is a huge tab, and I was really proud of that at the time, and I was also banking all the Awarg bones. I eventually got to the point where I just decided to bone crusher them instead. However, if you do that, obviously you'll make a little bit more profit because it's like an extra 6.5k or 6k per Bandos kill, which is not too bad. But that's all the items, what they sold for, and in total I got 76 mil from those first 1,500 kills. And now we get to the best part of these Condemned to PVM episodes, which is where we update the boss pet's progress sheet. And I feel like we got our first good pet here because, let's be honest, the KBD pet, it's super AFK. You click once per 5 minutes, and that's essentially how I got that pet. And also the DK pet and the Legio pet are fairly quick to get, definitely a lot quicker than most of the other pets. But now we have the Bandos pet, which is really quite an awesome pet, and this is a much larger time investment than these other 3 pets have been, and also much more profitable. Made a nice juicy amount of money from Bandos, and hopefully I'll get another one of these God Wars Dungeon pets soon. I have been working on Kriara because, well, for one, I'm very close to 120 range. I'm maybe 7 or 8 mil XP to go, so getting the Kriara pet will most likely get me that 120 cape, which should be an awesome achievement to get along with that pet whenever it comes. So that's the pet that I'm going to be working on next. Also, keep in mind, because I don't want to be too spoilerific here, just because I'm going to be working on the Armadillo pet next, of course, does not mean I'm going to get the Armadillo pet next, because I do occasionally go on like a Cal Fight King trip or a next trip with friends, and you never know when a pet could happen in one of those instances, or who knows, maybe the Durzag pet might happen going on a Durzag trip, which would be awesome. I really hope that's the case, but definitely Armadillo is nice because it's AFK, and also, you know, I am really close to that 120 range, which is a goal of mine to maybe one day get all of the combat 120s, and ranged is by far the closest one right now. So anyway, that's all for this episode. One of the best things about it is I get to cross Bandos off the list, and I do have a list where I keep track of all the drops, so I finally get to delete Bandos from this really professional looking notepad document and move on to future bosses, which is just kind of awesome. Seeing a boss get completely wiped out of this document means I never have to worry about him again. So I want to thank you all for watching. I'm going to get back to work on killing some of these bosses, going for the pets. Hopefully I'll get another pet soon, which means another Condemned PVM episode in maybe a couple weeks. Let's go for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.